Hey, it's your brother Vansilk. I had to make this video tonight. Oh God, listen, man. Let me just set this right. A lot of people don't understand, and they think they know everything about what's going on in hip hop. I was just talking about the Force MDs tonight when I was doing my interview for Rudy Rush podcast earlier today about how I put them and Dougie Fresh on the Force MDs and Dougie Fresh back on in '81. I want people to understand that originally the Force MDs, the original Force MCs, was my group back in 1981. Me and Stevie D talk about this all the time. My voice sounds a little different because I've been up all day and got chemo treatment tomorrow. But I want to say that we lost a great singer in Jesse D, the uncle of Stevie D and Khalil Lundy and them. But I want to go and say, when I first, me and AJ, rest in soul, my mentor AJ, Kool DJ, we were partners. And one of the reasons why I stopped messing with AJ as being a promoter with him, like he was the promoter, but I was just like his intern of learning how to do the game, is because I wanted to put the Force MDs on, and nobody wanted to mess with the Force MD because it was from Staten Island. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go on my own. And that's when I did the Force MDs. And the original pictures were me, Stevie D, Mercury, and Dr. Rock, who are deceased. And me and Stevie D, I call Stevie D Otis, like the Temptation Otis. And after a while, Stevie D said, yo, RC, I want to put my uncle down. He does the Michael Jackson impersonation and everything. And I'm like, your uncle? And I'm like, nah. He's like, nah, but he's the same age as us, which was Jesse. Man, that was in 1981. I got all the flyers and pictures and everything. Ah, man. You know, it's sad because Stevie D and Khalil's father, Mr. Lundy, fired me before they went to Tommy Boy. Come on, your service was no longer needed. Hey, listen, man, it is what it is. You know, me and AJ put Mr. Magic on, but Mr. Magic and Mighty Mike C is the one that was instrumental in getting the Force MDs over the moniker Lynch and Tom Silverman at Tommy Boy. I never worked with TC. I never worked with Trisco, who are also members of the group that passed. But I worked with their cousin, Lord K1. Lord K1, who also died in a car accident. But in 2019, was it 19? 19, 20. When I did the 46th anniversary of SOBs with the Force MDs and Rebel Moore and Full Force and everybody, you know, Zayn was down, their nephew was down with the Force MDs, and I put Kent Rockwell down with them, and Stevie D like, yo, if it wasn't for Vansilk. You know, listen, I love that because, you know, I work hard in this business, and I'm not trying to go into a lot of personal stuff, but you know, Jesse hit me up a couple years ago and asked me to try to help him get him back in the group. That wasn't my decision. That was just a conversation that I asked Jesse. There were certain things that he had to do in order for Steven and Khalil to look at you, you know, as wanting to be part of the group again. And he agreed to some of it. And I talked to Steve and Khalil, and they was like, yo, Van, you know, like, yo, he got to do this. That's our uncle. That's our family. That's our blood. And I understand. Listen, I did the same thing with UTFO, trying to get Kango and Educated Rapper and Dr. Ice and Mixmaster Ice, them back together. And Kango explained to me Van, this is gonna be the roadblock. This is the things that I did, and I talked to Master Ice, and I talked to Educated Rapper, but then Educated Rapper passed. You know, I've been trying to get third base back together. You know, but that's never going to happen. And forget about getting Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five together. That shit ain't never going to happen. That's like getting Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey to a Thanksgiving dinner. That ain't never going to happen. But to get back to Jesse and what Jesse Daniels been going through, great singer, great entertainer with the Michael Jackson impersonation and all that stuff he did back in the early 80s. Dougie Fresh would tell you, because I put them and Dougie Fresh on a lot of the shows with Mike and Dave and Master Don, Crash Crew, Boogie Boys, Sweetie G. That was our lineup. You know, I wish I could have did more, but listen, I'm only one person, man. I'm only one person, man. Jesse, you know, I knew you from day one. You was part of the, you know, your family is the LDs. That was the group before they became the Force MCs, and like losing Dr. Rock, losing Mercury, and Stevie D is still here. Then you start the group with Trisco and TC, and you know, y'all on Tommy Boy, then Lord K1 died, and Dr. Shock took over, you know, Dr. Rock, and you know, at the end of the day, Stevie D is still here, man. He's the only original member from the original Force MDs, and it's sad that the 4th day of January we lost somebody else important to the culture of hip hop and R&B. Very talented brother. I don't want people to get mad at me because Hip Hop DX, and a lot of people come to me first because I stay in touch with these people. I have a wire within touch to them, but I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. It is what it is. But I like to say my prayers out to the families of Jesse Daniels and the Lundy family. Like, and you know, I want you to send prayers out to DJ Easy Mike that was down with Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5. I just got off the phone with him, and he's battling brain cancer. A couple years ago, he had lung cancer, but now he's battling brain cancer. So, listen, man. A lot of our brothers in hip-hop that are sick. And I'm only here to help y'all, man, because I love all y'all. I mean, we may not be able to do certain things, but I love y'all. Time might have passed some of y'all, but I love y'all. You know, I just wish that things were different. I wish that Jesse did get back with the Force MDs. I mean, he made an appearance this summer on stage, which I think was a David Ruffin move that he pulled at Staten Island when we had the New York events in Queens and the Bronx and New York and this whole Central Park thing. But he did get to go on stage with his nephews. It's your brother Vansilk, I mean, like, I represent hip hop to the fullest. I am hip hop. At the end of the day, man, I'm dealing with my own issues. But I want people to please do understand that we got a lot of things that we have to do. And it's a long struggle and a long fight and a long battle to fight for our first 25 years in hip hop. And I want everybody to please understand not to be selfish. Rest in peace, Jesse Daniels. Whew. That's all I got to say, people. It's your brother Vansilk.